As Duane Sands launched his F&M leadership bid, a man dies in police custody. This as authorities open another murder investigation. Excitement builds for Junkanoo Carnival Plus. A hot radio personality burns up the airwaves. We've got those stories and a whole lot more coming up tonight. I'm Duane, and NB12 Weekend starts now. Topping news tonight, weeks after Free National Movement Deputy Leader Loretta Butler Turner admitted that she is consulting with party members on whether she should run for leader, a video pops up online showing several Bahamians endorsing F&M Deputy Chairman Dr. Duane Sands as the next leader. Could this be the start of his leadership bid? Well, Sands spoke quite candidly with our Kyle Joaquin.
F&M Deputy Chairman Dr. Duane Sands has not given a definitive yes or no to the question of whether or not he will run for the top post within the F&M. However, after a video hit the internet this week showing several endorsements for Dr. Sands as F&M leader, it appears as though he may challenge Dr. Hubert Minnis.
I think Mr. Sands is he'll be an excellent prime minister if he's been given a chance, and I am supporting him in the convention.
My name is Bradley Ingram. I'm a 46-year-old paraplegic. I was shot about 17 to 18 years ago. I came in contact with Duane Sands. He was my doctor at that given time. And with his help and God blessing, I'm here today.
Those are just some of the many people saying F&M Deputy Chairman Dr. Duane Sands may be the best person to lead the Free National Movement into the next general election. The video hit the internet last week and has left many wondering, is this the start of Sands' party leadership campaign? Well, Sands says no. F&M Deputy Leader Loretta Butler Turner has already indicated that she has begun meeting with F&M members around the country as she considers a possible run for leadership. Well, Sands says while he will not say just yet whether he will run for the top post, it would be disingenuous for him to say that he has not begun preparing for a possible run.
Same time, I realize the implications of saying that such and such a campaign has now kicked off. I would ask you, has Hillary Clinton announced that she is prepared to run for presidency of the United States? Now, you know, all the bookies would say that she is a shoo-in for the Democratic nomination, but she herself has not claimed that. So, you know, as I always tell people, you got to claim it, and Duane Sands hasn't claimed it yet.
This begs the question, what was the video advertisement for?
While many people would love to be distracted by the internal workings of the Free National Movement, the more pressing issue is what are we going to do to salvage this country? And so that video was intended to maintain Duane Sands' presence in the hearts and minds of the entire Bahamian public.
Sands says when the F&M holds a convention next year, he will once again offer himself for a senior position in the party. However, he won't say what position just yet. Sands has previously indicated his interest in the leadership post. He said the time will come when he will give a definitive answer, but for now, he says they are all rallied behind their leader in holding the government's feet to the fire.
This country is under siege. If you look at the recent reports about the increase in poverty, if you look at what's happening with crime, if you look at the priorities of this Progressive Liberal Party government, they seem more prepared to beat up on Andre Rollins than to deal with the very pressing issues of energy, of challenges with education, of immigration, etc. And so while many people would love to be distracted by the internal workings of the Free National Movement, the more pressing issue is what are we going to do to salvage this country?
In other news, Coroner Janine Weish Gomez is said to be investigating the death of a police suspect who reportedly died in custody over the weekend. Authorities said in a statement last night that a man died in police custody on Saturday. His identity has been withheld pending the notification of next of kin. It's unclear where or how the suspect died and what he was arrested for. Police say all inquiries should be directed to the coroner. Last year, human rights group Amnesty International called for independent investigations into 2 custody deaths in February 2013, which sparked a public outrage. A man is dead and 3 others are in serious condition tonight following a shooting incident near Burnett Road. According to police reports, 3 men and a female were sitting outside a business on Grace Terrace around 10 last night when a gunman fired several shots at them. 1 man was shot in the head, the female was shot in the thigh, another man was shot in the stomach, and the other was hit in the leg. The 4 victims were transported to hospital where the man shot in the head was pronounced dead. Investigations continue. As Prime Minister Perry Christie and Parliamentary Secretary Renward Wells prepare to address the nation on that controversial letter of intent, former parliamentarian George Smith says Christie will be judged at an appropriate time for his decision regarding Wells. It's been months since the Bambootown MP signed a letter of intent for a $600 million plus waste-to-energy plant without cabinet approval.
If Mr. Wells signed a letter that he wasn't authorized to sign, certainly the consequence which should flow from that would be either he accepts the responsibility and does what is honorable, or he is dealt with. But that is the Prime Minister's call, his judgment, and people will judge him at the appropriate time based on his exercising that authority that he as Prime Minister has. He appointed him, and if he is to be relieved of the position, only he can do it.
During the PLP's National General Council meeting Thursday night, Christie said Wells will speak to the nation on the matter in the House of Assembly before Parliament breaks. The Prime Minister said he would also address the controversy. Smith says Christie owes Bahamians an explanation, but it shouldn't have taken this long.
It is regretful that, like I say, and that's all I could say about it, that it has dragged on so long, and if there is a justification for the delay, yes, the Prime Minister does owe the Bahamian people an appropriate explanation.
And as companies reevaluate their business plans ahead of the January 1st implementation of value-added tax, a prominent businessman warns there could be job losses across the board and even urged government to revisit its plan to introduce VAT. CFAO President Anthony Ferguson says a number of businesses are already facing financial challenges during these tough times, and an obvious choice to cut costs when VAT is introduced is to right-size.
A lot of people will reevaluate their business plan and make determinations, and the easiest and quickest way to sometimes right-size your balance sheet or your income statement is by your variable expenses, which generally is the people.
So job losses, in other words.
You could see some right-sizing.
Despite government's efforts to address VAT concerns, members of the business community continue to question the impact the proposed tax would have on their bottom line and consumer spending habits. Ferguson says smaller businesses won't be the only ones affected.
I think it's going to be right across the board. It's going to be right across the board. I think not because you're a large business means you're making money, right? And so a lot of businesses are going to have to, between now and end of November, most businesses are doing their budget for 2015, 2016, and I'm sure they're going to take all of these things into account, and where they need to make some adjustments, they will do it.
Ferguson says government can revisit its plan to introduce VAT, but acknowledged it's a useless debate now that the VAT bill has been passed.
There are alternatives to VAT, but I mean it's a foregone conclusion. It's already been passed, so it's a useless debate. But I still think there are alternatives to which we can implement much faster, much less headache, with less slippage. But the decision has already been made. Like payroll tax, income tax. We don't like to talk about it, but we have to take the tough medicines.
Failing that, Ferguson urged the Ministry of Finance to relax the rules a little in the first few months after VAT implementation as businesses adjust to the huge tax policy shift.
It's going to be take some time getting used to. First of all, when I send a bill with a VAT on it, I'm going to get a lot of pushback from my customers, and we're going to have to discuss these things, and we're going to have to adjust things.